On November 3rd, 2024, at 6:47 p.m., I stood in Marcello's private dining room, the same room where I'd proposed 12 years earlier, and pressed play on a video that would destroy my wife's life in front of 37 people, including her pastor father and the mother-in-law who just called me the son she never had, while my hands shook so hard I could barely hold the remote, because I'd spent the last 4 months watching Ring camera footage of my wife fucking our neighbor in our bed while our kids were at school. If you've got some time and maybe something to drink, settle in. This one's going to take a while, and honestly, you're going to need to hear all of it to understand why I did what I did. So here's the question that probably popped into your head. Why did I wait 4 months? Why not confront her immediately? Why the elaborate public exposure at our anniversary dinner? I'll tell you why. Because for 12 years, I'd been invisible in my own marriage. And it was time to make sure everyone saw what I'd been seeing. Let me back up. My name is Christopher Hayes. I'm 40 years old. I'm a CPA at a mid-sized accounting firm outside Chicago, and until April 9th, 2024, I genuinely believed I had a good marriage. Not perfect, whose is, but good, solid, the kind of marriage where you wake up next to someone for over a decade and think, yeah, we made it work. I met Amanda in 2011. I was 27, she was 28. I was the responsible guy with the stable job and the 401k. She was driven, ambitious, working in marketing at a tech startup downtown. She had this energy about her, like she was always moving towards something bigger. I fell for her hard. Looking back, I think I fell for the fact that someone like her would even notice someone like me. I proposed 2 years later, right here at Marcello's. Spent 3 months' salary on the ring, rehearsed my speech about 40 times in my car. She said yes. We got married in 2014. Our daughter Emma was born in 2015, our son Lucas in 2017. Amanda quit her job when Emma was born, said she wanted to be there for the kids full time. I supported that. I always supported her. Here's the thing, nobody tells you about being the supportive husband. It's a slow slide from supportive to invisible. It doesn't happen overnight. It's 1,000 small moments where you say yes when you mean no, where you apologize when you shouldn't, where you shrink yourself to keep the peace. By 2021, something had shifted. Amanda started resenting the life we'd built, specifically resenting that she'd sacrificed her career for our family. Never mind that it was her choice. Never mind that I worked 50-hour weeks during tax season to make sure she could stay home. It was somehow my fault that she felt unfulfilled. The criticism started small. You never stand up to anyone at work. Your mother walks all over you. The kids don't respect you because you're too soft. Then they got sharper. You're a doormat. You're pathetic. I don't know why I married someone with no backbone. And I took it. Because that's what I did. I was the nice guy, the peacekeeper, the one who never rocked the boat. My 40th birthday was in March 2024. Amanda forgot. Completely forgot. When I mentioned it that evening, she said, "Oh God, I'm sorry. I've just been so overwhelmed." She didn't even try to make it up to me. I told myself marriage was about compromise, about understanding that people get busy. I didn't realize I was the only one compromising. Around January 2024, new neighbors moved in 3 houses down. Tyler and Jessica Brennan. Tyler was 28, personal trainer, worked from a home gym setup. Jessica was a 26-year-old ICU nurse who worked brutal 12-hour shifts. Nice couple. I helped them move in, threw out my back carrying Tyler's weight bench up their stairs. Amanda thought that was hilarious. "You're 40 now, old man. Maybe you should get in shape." Funny thing, she got real interested in fitness right after that. By February, Amanda announced she was hiring a personal trainer, Tyler, specifically. "He's so close, and he gave me a neighbor discount." She started working out Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, 2-hour sessions at his place. She bought new workout clothes, expensive stuff from Lululemon, started wearing perfume to her training sessions. Came home with this glow about her, this energy I hadn't seen in years. I noticed. Of course I noticed. But I told myself I was being paranoid, insecure, controlling. She was just taking care of herself. That was healthy, right? Then came Valentine's Day 2024. Amanda said she felt unsafe when I worked late. I often stayed until 7 or 8 during tax season. She wanted a Ring doorbell, maybe some interior cameras too, just for security. I thought it was sweet that she was thinking about our safety. So, that afternoon, I installed a Ring doorbell at the front entrance and 2 Nest cameras inside, one in the living room, one in the hallway near the bedrooms. She watched me install them, even suggested the angles. "Make sure the hallway one can see the whole corridor," she said. "That way we'll know if anyone breaks in from the back." I set up the app on my phone, configured the motion alerts. That evening, Amanda kissed me on the cheek and said, "I feel so much safer now. Thank you." I felt like a good husband, protective, attentive. If you've ever made a decision that seemed right in the moment but completely destroyed your life, you know exactly how that feels. Now, here's where I need to paint you a picture of Amanda's public persona, because it matters. On Facebook, on Instagram, she was the perfect wife. #blessed life. #marriage goals. She'd post photos of us at dinner, me with my arm around her, my rock, 12 years and counting, heart emoji. She'd share Bible verses about love and commitment. Her friends would comment, "You two are so cute." Relationship goals for real. Her parents ate it up. Her father, Robert Patterson, is a pastor at Community Bible Church in Thornfield. Her mother, Eleanor, is a sweet woman, deeply religious, very involved in church activities. To them, Amanda was the model Christian wife and mother. I was the son-in-law who'd won the lottery. Every family dinner, Robert would clap me on the shoulder. "Christopher, you're a blessing to this family, a real blessing." My own mother, Dorothy, my dad passed when I was 25, so she's all I've got, adored Amanda. "The daughter I never had," she'd say. She'd take Amanda shopping, invite her to ladies' lunches, brag about her to friends. When Amanda posted those perfect marriage photos, my mom was first to comment with heart emojis. Everyone saw the performance. I was the only one who lived the reality. At home, Amanda barely spoke to me unless she needed something. She recoiled when I tried to hold her hand. We hadn't had sex in over a year. She always had an excuse, a headache, too tired, not in the mood. She started making me sleep on the couch if I annoyed her, which could mean anything from breathing too loud to asking about her day. But in public, perfect couple, devoted wife. I went along with it because I thought maybe if we kept acting like we were happy, we'd eventually become happy again. Turns out she was already happy, just not with me. March 5th, 2024, Tuesday. I was at work, middle of a client meeting, when my phone buzzed. Ring notification, motion detected at front door. I almost ignored it, probably a delivery guy. But something made me check. I pulled up the app. There was Tyler Brennan standing on our porch. Amanda opened the door in yoga pants and a sports bra. They hugged, longer than you'd hug a neighbor or a trainer. Her hand lingered on his lower back. Then she pulled him inside, quickly, glancing up and down the street first. My stomach dropped. 3 minutes later, another notification. Motion detected. Hallway camera. I switched views. There they were, walking past the camera toward the bedroom area, laughing about something. He had his hand on her shoulder. I sat in that meeting for another 45 minutes, nodding at appropriate times, making notes I'd never read. My brain was screaming, but I told myself, they're probably just talking. Maybe he's giving her nutrition advice. Maybe they're discussing her fitness goals. I'd become very good at lying to myself. Over the next 3 weeks, I watched it happen again and again. Every Tuesday and Thursday, like clockwork. Around 2:30 p.m., Tyler would arrive. He'd stay until 4:30, sometimes later. Always when the kids were at school, always when I was at work. I started taking screenshots, dates, times, angles. Tyler arriving at 2:34 p.m., Tyler leaving at 4:47 p.m., Amanda waving goodbye from the doorway, her hair messy, wearing different clothes than when he'd arrived. I couldn't sleep. I'd lie on the couch, my usual spot by then, and replay the footage in my head. I lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks, my coworker Brian noticed. "Dude, you look like hell. Everything okay at home?" I told him I was fine, because that's what I did. I was fine. Everything was fine. On March 28th, I decided to come home early. Surprise Amanda, maybe catch her off guard, see if my paranoia was justified. I left work at 3:45, got home at 4:15. Amanda was in the kitchen, hair wet, wearing a robe. "Chris, you're home early." She looked flustered, surprised. "Thought I'd surprise you," I said, searching her face for guilt, for anything. "I just got out of the shower. Had my workout. You know how sweaty those sessions are. I checked the footage later. Tyler had left at 3:52, 23 minutes before I arrived. That night, around 10:30, Amanda was in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand next to me. I glanced over. The screen lit up. Message from heart emoji, flexed bicep emoji T. Can still taste you. Thursday can't come fast enough. I stared at that screen for what felt like an hour, but was probably 10 seconds. My hands started shaking. I picked up her phone. I know, invasion of privacy, but at that point I was past caring, and scrolled up. Months of texts. March, February, January. How was I so lucky to find you? Your husband doesn't deserve you. You're so beautiful when you come. I can't stop thinking about Thursday. And her responses? He barely looks at me anymore. I'm basically a maid and a nanny. You make me feel alive again. Then I found the one that broke me. Tyler had texted, "Does he suspect anything?" Amanda replied, "God, no. He's so pathetic he'd never suspect anything. I could fuck you in our bed and he'd probably apologize for being in the way." I put the phone back exactly as I'd found it, went to the bathroom, locked the door, and vomited as quietly as I could. Then I crawled into bed next to her. She'd finished her shower and was already asleep. And I cried, silently, barely breathing. Because even then, even knowing what I knew, I didn't want to wake her. I'd spent 12 years being invisible. That night, I became invisible even to myself. April 1st. I called in sick. First time in 7 years. I sat in my car in an empty parking garage and watched Ring footage from March 30th. The living room camera had a partial view into the adjacent hallway. I watched Tyler and Amanda stumble past, half undressed, laughing. His hands all over her kissing his neck. I watched it 3 times. Then I thought about my options. I could confront her right now, file for divorce, fight it out in court, watch her lawyer paint me as the neglectful husband who drove her to seek comfort elsewhere. In Illinois, divorce is no fault, which means her affair doesn't matter much legally, except when it comes to custody and assets. Or I could stay silent, gather evidence, build a case, plan every move carefully, make sure that when I finally exposed her, there'd be no room for denial, no space for her to spin the narrative. For the first time in 12 years, I thought about what I wanted instead of what would keep the peace. I wanted her to hurt the way she'd hurt me. I wanted everyone who thought we were perfect to see exactly what she'd done. I wanted her to feel as exposed and humiliated as I felt watching footage of her with another man in our home. I'd been invisible for so long. It was time to make sure everyone saw. April 2nd, I opened a separate bank account at a different bank. Started diverting part of my paycheck. I consulted with a divorce attorney in the next town over. Sarah Chen came highly recommended. I explained everything. Illinois is no fault, she said, but adultery can impact custody arrangements and asset division, especially if the affair occurred in the marital home during parenting time. Do you have evidence? I showed her. 47 video clips spanning February through April, 300 screenshots of texts, a spreadsheet I'd made tracking dates, times, duration of visits. She was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "Mr. Hayes, I've been doing this for 15 years. I've never seen someone this prepared. Most people come in here emotional, impulsive. You're different." "I've had practice being patient," I said. "I'm done being patient." "What's your timeline?" "Our 12th anniversary is November 3rd. I can hold this in until then. Can you have everything ready to file the day after?" She studied me. "Are you sure you want to wait that long? That's 7 months of living a lie." "I've been living a lie for 12 years. What's 7 more months?" So, I became someone I didn't recognize. I downloaded every piece of Ring footage to an encrypted cloud drive. I documented everything. When Amanda texted Tyler, I knew about it within minutes. I'd figured out her passcode months ago, installed a monitoring app on her phone while she slept. I know, illegal in some states. But I wasn't planning to use those texts in court. I just needed to know. And here's the thing. Once you start watching, you can't stop. It becomes an addiction. April 9th, 2024. At 2:23 p.m., I was in my office when the notification came. Living room camera. I opened the app. They were on the couch. Our couch. The one my mother had given us as a wedding gift. They were completely naked. and I watched. I don't know why I watched. Maybe I needed to torture myself. Maybe I needed the anger to sustain me. I watched them have sex on my mother's couch while I sat in an office bathroom stall trying not to scream. The audio was clear. Tyler said, "Does he know how lucky he is?" Amanda laughed. "Lucky? Christopher? He's lucky I haven't left him yet. I'm only staying until the kids are older. What about that anniversary trip he's planning? That stupid Napa Valley thing? I'll go, let him spend his money, then I'm done. Maybe another year, max." I watched the entire 14-minute video. Then I sat in my car for 90 minutes in the parking garage, staring at nothing. I didn't cry. I'd moved past crying. Instead, I felt this cold clarity settle over me. I called Sarah Chen. "I need to move forward. I have everything." That evening, I went home at my usual time. Amanda had made dinner. Pasta, my favorite. This happened occasionally, usually when she felt guilty about something. She kissed my cheek, asked about my day. I told her about a client, made her laugh with some story I barely remember telling. The kids were at the table. Emma, 9 years old, talking about her school play. Lucas, 7, showing me a drawing he'd made. I smiled, praised them, helped Lucas with his homework after dinner. Amanda watched me from the kitchen doorway. Maybe she saw something in my face, maybe not. Either way, she didn't ask. That night, after she fell asleep, I went to the garage, sat in my car, and I broke. Sobbed into my jacket so no one would hear, punched the steering wheel until my hands hurt, screamed silently into the fabric. Then I texted Sarah Chen, "I want full custody. I want the house. I want her to feel what I feel." She responded the next morning, "Slow down. Emotion is your enemy right now. We build a case brick by brick." I wrote back, "I have 4 months until our anniversary. That's how long I can hold this in." Her reply, "Then we make those 4 months count." For the next 7 months, I lived a double life. During the day, I was Christopher Hayes, devoted husband and father, CPA at a mid-sized firm. At night, I was someone else, someone methodical, cold, strategic. I changed passwords on all our accounts, got a credit report, discovered Amanda had opened a secret credit card in March, already $8,000 in debt. Lingerie I'd never seen, hotel rooms, gifts. I documented everything. I hired a forensic accountant. Turns out, Amanda had been siphoning small amounts from our joint checking into a separate account I didn't know existed. Not much, 200 here, 300 there, but over 2 years, it added up to $11,000, her escape fund. I created a spreadsheet tracking every parenting duty. School events, me. Doctor appointments, me. Homework help, me. Amanda's Tuesday and Thursday training sessions coincided with the kids' after-school hours. March 22nd, the school nurse called 4 times because Lucas had fallen on the playground. Amanda didn't answer. She was busy with Tyler. I left work early to get our son. In May, I installed more cameras. For security, I told Amanda. There was a break-in attempt down the street. Total lie, but she bought it. Now I had coverage of the garage, backyard, side entrance. That's when I discovered they weren't just meeting during the day anymore. June 4th, 11:07 p.m. The backyard camera caught them. Tyler came through the back gate while I was supposedly asleep upstairs. Amanda snuck out to get water. They had sex against our shed while our children slept inside. I watched that footage the next morning. Then I kissed Amanda goodbye, told her to have a great day, and went to work. Funny thing about being invisible. You see everything, and no one knows you're watching. July came. I started building the social groundwork. Ran into Tyler's wife Jessica at the grocery store. "Hey, how are you guys settling in?" We chatted. She mentioned Tyler had been distant lately, working so many evening clients. I planted the seed casually. "Yeah, Amanda mentioned Tyler's been super busy with his training schedule." Jessica's expression changed. "He's training Amanda? He didn't tell me that." "Oh yeah, Tuesday and Thursday afternoons mostly. She's really committed to getting in shape." I watched the gears turn in Jessica's head. She was an ICU nurse, smart, observant. She knew something was off. I didn't push, just smiled, finished the conversation, and walked away. I also maintained perfect relationships with our families. Amanda's parents still thought I was the ideal son-in-law. Her father, Pastor Robert, asked me to help with church finances. "You're such a blessing, Christopher. Amanda is lucky to have you. I volunteered at every church function, helped Eleanor organize the summer picnic, attended Bible study, smiled through every dinner where Amanda played the devoted wife. And I planned. In August, I suggested a big anniversary celebration. Amanda was reluctant. Do we really need to make a big deal? Come on, I said. 12 years. And I want to do it at Marcello's, where I proposed. It'll be romantic. She agreed, probably because she figured it was one more obligation before she left me. I booked Marcello's private dining room for November 3rd, 2024. Made a guest list, 37 people. Amanda's parents, my mother, her friends from church, my coworkers who knew the truth and were ready to support me, some neighbors, including Tyler and Jessica Brennan. Amanda protested. Why are we inviting neighbors? They're our friends. Plus, it's nice to include the new couple, make them feel welcome. She couldn't argue without seeming weird. So, she agreed. In September, I told Amanda I was putting together a memory slideshow. Photos from our 12 years. It'll play during dinner, but don't look. I want it to be a surprise. She bought it. Why wouldn't she? I'd never surprised her with anything before. I spent 2 weeks editing that video. First half, real wedding photos, the kids' births, Christmas mornings, vacation snapshots, the stuff that would make people smile and tear up. Second half, ring camera footage, timestamps visible, crystal clear video and audio of my wife and our neighbor in every room of our house. The texts, the screenshots, her calling me pathetic, her planning to leave, the June backyard footage where they fucked against our shed while Emma and Lucas slept upstairs. The final title card, 119 instances, 6 months, our home, our bed, while I worked to support our family. I brought the video to Marcello's 3 days before the dinner. The manager, Tony, is an old friend. I showed him the first 30 seconds of the second half. He went pale. Chris, what the hell? I need you to play this at 7 p.m. sharp, no matter what happens, no matter what she says, no matter if she screams. You play it through to the end. Are you sure? Tony, I've never been more sure of anything in my life, and maybe have security nearby. On November 3rd, 2024, I woke up at 6 a.m. Amanda was still sleeping. The kids were at my mother's house. I'd arranged a special sleepover weeks ago, told them we'd see them the next day. I showered, put on my wedding suit, made Amanda coffee, brought it to her in bed. Happy anniversary, babe. She looked at me groggy. Thanks. What time is dinner again? 7 p.m. I'll pick you up at 6:30. She kissed my cheek. That performative affection she'd perfected. I studied her face, memorized it. This was the last morning she'd wake up as my wife in anything but paperwork. At work, I received a text from Sarah Chen. Everything's filed. Divorce papers will be served tomorrow morning at her parents' house. You sure about tonight? I've never been more sure of anything, I replied. My phone buzzed again. Tyler texting Amanda. I saw it through the monitoring app. Can't wait to see you tonight. Gonna be hard pretending I'm not thinking about Thursday. I almost laughed. He had no idea what was coming. We arrived at Marcello's at 6:45 p.m. Amanda wore an emerald green dress, new, expensive. Bought with the secret credit card. She looked beautiful. I'd always thought she was beautiful. That's what made it hurt so much. The private dining room was decorated exactly as I'd requested. Candles, photos of us on tables, elegant setup. Guests started arriving. Amanda's parents came first. Pastor Robert in his formal suit. Eleanor in her Sunday best. Amanda's church friends gushed. You two are so cute. Relationship goals, seriously. My mother Dorothy arrived, hugged Amanda tight. The daughter I never had. 12 years, I'm so proud of you both. I watched Amanda's performance. Perfect smile, gracious hostess, devoted wife, Oscar-worthy. At 6:58, Tyler and Jessica walked in. Amanda's face flickered, just for a second, panic, then recovered. Jessica looked uncomfortable. She knew. I'd made sure she knew. Tyler shook my hand. Thanks for inviting us, man. Great party. I smiled. Wouldn't be complete without you, Tyler. You've been very involved in our lives these past months. He didn't catch the edge in my voice. Jessica did. Her eyes met mine, and I saw understanding there. At 6:59, I signaled Tony. He nodded from across the room. I stood, Tapped my wine glass with a knife. The room quieted. All 37 people turned to me. Amanda smiled up at me, expecting the usual. A sweet speech, a toast. Maybe I'd cry a little, say something about how lucky I was. "Thank you all for being here," I said. My voice was steady, calm. 12 years ago, in this very room, I proposed to Amanda. I promised to love her, honor her, protect our family. There were awes from the crowd. Amanda's smile widened. "And I've kept that promise," I continued. "Every single day, even on the days she didn't deserve it." Amanda's smile faltered. Her mother looked confused. "But tonight isn't about speeches," I said. "It's about truth, transparency. Because marriage should be built on honesty, don't you think, honey?" "Chris," Amanda said, voice tight. I've put together a special video, 12 years of memories." I looked at Tony. "If you would?" The lights dimmed. A screen descended from the ceiling. Amanda's face went from confused to horrified in the span of a heartbeat. The video started. The first 90 seconds were normal. Our wedding day, Amanda in her white dress, me, younger, nervous, so ridiculously in love. Honeymoon photos in Hawaii. Emma's birth, Amanda exhausted, beautiful, holding our daughter. Lucas as a baby, that incredible smile. Christmas mornings, birthday parties, the kids growing up. Guests smiled, some dabbed their eyes. Amanda's mother whispered, "Oh, this is beautiful." Amanda started to relax. "Maybe I was wrong," her face said. "Maybe he doesn't know." Then the screen went black. For 3 seconds, nothing. Then a title card appeared. February 14th, 2024. Ring doorbell camera, front porch. The footage played. Tyler and Amanda on our porch. The kiss. Her pulling him inside, glancing up and down the street. The timestamp, 2:34 p.m. Gasps from the audience. Amanda shot to her feet. "Turn it off." "Sit down, Amanda," I said quietly. "Everyone deserves to see the full story." She looked at her father, at her mother, wild-eyed. Pastor Robert sat frozen, his face draining of color. The video continued, a compilation now, clips from March through July. March 15th. Tyler and Amanda in our living room, partially undressed, his hands under her shirt. The timestamp, clear. 3:12 p.m., kids still at school. March 28th, the living room couch. My mother's wedding gift. They were having sex on it. The audio was clear. Their voices, their sounds, her pleasure. Amanda was screaming now. "Christopher, stop this, please!" Jessica stood up. "What the fuck, Tyler?" Tyler tried to leave. My friends Brian and Marcus moved to the door, blocking it. April 9th played, the money shot. The 14-minute video I'd watched in that office bathroom, completely naked. Amanda on top of Tyler, their conversation. "Does he know how lucky he is?" "Lucky? Christopher? He's lucky I haven't left him yet. I'm only staying until the kids are older." "What about the anniversary trip he's planning? That stupid Napa Valley thing? I'll go, let him spend his money, then I'm done. Maybe another year, max." Amanda's mother let out a sound I'll never forget. A wail, like something had broken inside her. The video didn't stop. June 4th, backyard footage. 11:07 p.m., night vision quality. Tyler and Amanda against our shed, having sex while our children slept inside. While I lay in our bed, supposedly asleep. More clips, more timestamps, more proof. Then the screenshots of texts appeared on screen. "He's so pathetic. He'd never suspect anything. I could fuck you in our bed, and he'd probably apologize for being in the way. Just one more year until Lucas is in middle school, then I'm out." The final title card, 119 instances, 6 months, our home, our bed, while I worked to support our family. The video ended. The room was chaos. Amanda's father stood, his face red, shaking with rage. "Amanda Marie Patterson, what have you done?" "Daddy, please." Amanda reached for him. He stepped back like she'd burned him. Eleanor was sobbing. "How could you? How could you?" My mother sat frozen, tears streaming down her face. Then she looked at Amanda and said, "I loved you like my own daughter. I defended you. I bragged about you." Her voice broke. "How could you do this to him?" Jessica threw her wine in Tyler's face. "We've been married 2 years," Tyler sputtered, wiping his face. "Jess, I can explain." "Explain what? That you've been fucking our married neighbor while I work 12-hour shifts to keep us afloat?" Amanda turned to me. Her face was streaked with mascara. "You bastard! You're going to pay for this!" I looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman I'd loved for 12 years. This stranger wearing my wife's face. "No, Amanda," I said quietly. "You're going to pay. You've been paying since April 9th. You just didn't know it." I reached into my jacket and pulled out an envelope, handed it to her. "Divorce papers. You'll be served officially tomorrow morning. I'm filing for full custody, the house, and child support. Illinois is a no-fault state, but adultery matters for custody arrangements, especially when the affair occurred during parenting time." I pulled out printed call logs. March 22nd, the school called 4 times because Lucas fell on the playground. You didn't answer because Tyler was there. I had to leave work to get our son. Amanda's knees buckled. She grabbed the table for support. Pastor Robert's voice cut through the chaos. "You will not come to our home until you have repented before God and made amends to this man and these children." "Daddy, please, you don't understand." "I understand perfectly," he thundered. "You have disgraced this family. You have disgraced your marriage. You have violated every vow you made before God and this community." Tyler tried to speak. "Look, man, I didn't know she was—" I turned to him. "Get the fuck away from me before I forget I'm a pacifist." Jessica was already calling someone. "Sharon, it's me. I need a divorce attorney, tonight. I don't care if it's Sunday." The restaurant manager appeared with 2 security guards. Someone had called the police too. Noise complaints from the main dining room. I stood in the center of the chaos, watching it unfold. For 12 years, I'd been invisible. Now everyone saw. Everyone knew. For the first time in over a decade, I felt visible. The police arrived but didn't arrest anyone. Private event, paid for, no physical violence. They took statements, told everyone to go home. Amanda's parents left without speaking to her. Eleanor was still sobbing. Robert had his arm around her, guiding her out. Amanda tried to follow them. Her father turned. "No." That one word. It destroyed her more than the video had. Tyler and Jessica left separately, screaming at each other in the parking lot. Jessica got in her car and drove away, tires screeching. Tyler stood there, alone, looking bewildered, like he'd never considered there might be consequences. My friends helped me clean up. Brian put his hand on my shoulder. "You okay, man?" Was I okay? I just detonated a nuclear bomb in the middle of my life, but I nodded. "Yeah, I'm okay." Amanda sat in a chair, staring at nothing. Mascara-streaked face, shaking. Her friends had all left. No one wanted to be near her. I walked over, looked down at her. "You called me pathetic, said I'd never suspect anything." She didn't look up. "Turns out, being invisible has its advantages. You see everything, and no one knows you're watching." I left her there, drove home alone, sat in the driveway for an hour, engine off, just breathing. The next morning, a deputy showed up at Amanda's parents' house with the official divorce papers. Eleanor called me, crying. "Christopher, I'm so sorry. We had no idea. If we'd known—" "I know you didn't, Eleanor. It's not your fault. Where are the children?" "Still at my mom's. I'm picking them up this afternoon. They don't know yet." "What will you tell them?" "The truth, age-appropriate, but the truth. They deserve that much." Over the next 2 weeks, the fallout spread like wildfire. Amanda's church friends cut her off. Well, 2 of them did. The third, Megan, pretended to be supportive while gossiping behind Amanda's back. Small-town dynamics. Pastor Robert told the church board what happened. In confidence, of course. But these things never stay confidential. Within 48 hours, everyone at Community Bible Church knew. Amanda got disinvited from women's Bible study. People crossed the street to avoid her. Her brother called me. "Mom's on blood pressure medication because of what Amanda did. I hope you destroy her in court." I didn't respond. What was there to say? My mother took the kids more often, gave me space to handle legal proceedings. She told Emma an age-appropriate version. Mommy made choices that hurt Daddy, so they're separating. Emma, 10 years old, looked at me with those serious eyes. Is it because she didn't love us? My heart broke again. I knelt down, held her shoulders. "No, sweetheart. Your mom loves you. She forgot how to love us as a family. But that's not your fault. It's not Lucas's fault. It's just something that happened. But you still love us, right? More than anything in the world. She hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. The neighborhood turned on Tyler and Jessica. Their house went up for sale on November 8th. Jessica moved in with her sister across town. Tyler stayed in the house alone. Neighbors who'd been friendly before gave him the cold shoulder. Mrs. Henderson, the 70-year-old widow 3 doors down, actually said to his face, "I always knew you were trouble. People brought me casseroles, offered to watch the kids, left notes in my mailbox, praying for you. You deserve better. Stay strong." The support was overwhelming and strange. I'd spent so long being invisible that suddenly being seen, truly seen, felt disorienting. Amanda moved in with her friend Megan. Small apartment, 2 bedrooms. She had to get a lawyer with the limited funds from her secret account. $8,000 doesn't go far when you're facing a contested divorce. Her lawyer was cheap, mediocre. In our first mediation session, he told her bluntly, "You don't have a case for significant alimony. Your husband is the primary earner. The affair occurred in the marital home. He has evidence you neglected parenting duties. You're lucky if you get weekends." The financial consequences hit her hard. Her parents had been planning to gift her $50,000. They'd told her about it in October. Some inheritance money they wanted to share. That disappeared. No explanation needed. She had to get a job. First one in a decade. Target retail floor, $15 an hour. I heard about it through mutual acquaintances. Part of me felt satisfied. Part of me felt hollow. Tyler lost his job at the gym where he rented space. Turns out gyms have ethics policies. You can't sleep with married clients. Liability issue. He got fired on November 9th. He tried to freelance, but his reputation was destroyed. Other trainers blacklisted him, clients canceled. His Instagram fitness account, which had 12,000 followers, lost 4,000 within a week after someone posted the story. By December, he was working the front desk at a 24-hour fitness for $13 an hour. Jessica filed for divorce, wanted the house. She was the higher earner. ICU nurses make good money. Tyler couldn't afford to fight. But here's the thing. Nobody tells you about revenge. Even when it works, even when everything goes according to plan, it doesn't feel the way you think it will. On November 18th, Amanda's friend Megan called me. "Christopher, I think you should know. Amanda tried to hurt herself last night." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" "I found her on the bathroom floor, empty pill bottle. Xanax. She only took 4, not enough to do real damage. More like a cry for help. I took her to the hospital. Psych eval. They released her this morning." I sat down, stared at nothing. "I thought you should know," Megan said, "in case it matters for custody." After we hung up, I sat in my car in the driveway for an hour. Part of me thought, good. Now she knows how I felt. Part of me felt this crushing guilt. Did I do this? Did I push her to this? I called Sarah Chen. "If she hurts herself, is that on me?" "Christopher, you documented infidelity. You exposed it. You didn't force her to cheat. Her mental health struggles are not your responsibility. But I know it feels complicated, but you did what you had to do to protect yourself and your children. What she does now is on her." I wanted to believe that. I'm still not sure I do. The kids heard things. Of course they did. Small town, elementary school, parents talk. Emma came home from a friend's house on November 20th. "Daddy, Sophia's mom said Mommy is a bad person. Is that true?" I took a breath, chose my words carefully. "Mommy made mistakes that hurt our family, but she's still your mommy. People are allowed to be angry with her, but you're allowed to love her too." "Are you angry with her?" I was. I'm less angry now. Mostly I'm just sad that things turned out this way. Lucas, 8 years old, asked me 3 days later, "Daddy, did I make Mommy sad? Is that why she left?" I picked him up, held him, tried not to cry. "Buddy, none of this is your fault, not even a little bit. Grown-ups make choices that have nothing to do with their kids. This is between me and Mommy. You and Emma are perfect." But I wondered, did they need to see the fallout this publicly? Would they carry this forever? December brought the temporary custody hearing. The judge reviewed the evidence, the videos, the texts, the call log showing Amanda's neglect during parenting hours, her recent suicide attempt. His ruling, I got primary custody. 70-30 split. Amanda got supervised visitation initially, moving to every other weekend after 90 days of stability. Emma's reaction, relief. She was old enough to understand, old enough to be angry on my behalf. Lucas's reaction, confusion. He missed his mom. He didn't understand why she couldn't come home. First Christmas without Amanda was December 25th. Just me, the kids, and my mother, Dorothy. Different, quieter, but peaceful in a way our house hadn't been peaceful in years. Emma helped me cook. Lucas made decorations. We watched movies, played games. At one point, Emma leaned against me on the couch and asked, "Daddy, are we going to be okay?" "Yeah, sweetheart, we're going to be better than okay." Amanda sent presents, expensive toys I'd explicitly told her not to buy, guilt gifts. I returned them to her with a note. "Please respect boundaries. The kids need consistency, not compensation." I started therapy in January 2025. Weekly sessions with Dr. Patricia Hoffman. She was patient, insightful, didn't let me off easy. "You spent 12 years making yourself smaller to keep the peace," she said in our third session. "That's not love. That's self-erasure. I thought I was being a good husband. You were being a convenient husband. There's a difference." We worked on boundaries, on recognizing my patterns, people-pleasing, conflict avoidance, seeking approval from people who didn't value me. It was hard work, painful, but necessary. I built new routines with Emma and Lucas. Sunday morning pancakes, no phones at the table. I attended every one of Emma's debate team meets. She'd joined in January, found her voice in competition. Lucas started play therapy to process the divorce. I started exercising, not with trainers, God no. Just walks around the neighborhood, then runs. Lost 15 pounds by March, felt healthier, stronger, not just physically. I reconnected with college friends I'd lost touch with during the marriage. Poker nights with Brian and some guys from work. I laughed, actually laughed. It felt strange and wonderful. In March, a woman at the grocery store struck up a conversation. Sarah, she was a teacher, 38, kind eyes. Lucas had dropped a box of crackers. She'd helped him pick them up. We talked about kids, about teaching, about life. She wrote her number on a receipt. Maybe coffee sometime. I wasn't ready for dating, not even close. But I took the number. The possibility felt good. Amanda had her own parallel journey, court-mandated therapy. She was working at Target, living in a small apartment, slowly, very slowly, rebuilding a relationship with the kids. February, her first unsupervised visit with Emma and Lucas. She took them to the park. I watched from across the street. I know, probably creepy, but I needed to make sure they were safe. She played with Lucas, pushed him on the swings, talked with Emma on a bench. From a distance, it looked almost normal. Later, Emma told me, "Mommy asked why I was angry. I told her. She cried. A lot." "What did you say?" "I said I don't know if I can forgive her yet. Maybe someday." "That's fair, sweetheart. You don't have to forgive her on any timeline but your own." Amanda texted me once in early March. "I'm sorry isn't enough, but I am." I stared at that message for 10 minutes. Then I put my phone down without responding. I didn't block her. We had kids, we needed communication channels open. But I didn't respond either. By April 2025, we'd established a new normal. Amanda had every other weekend. She was reliable. No missed pickups, no broken promises, small progress. The kids were thriving. Emma made honor roll. Lucas was more confident, less anxious. The house felt like home again. Amanda's things were long gone. I'd repainted the living room, bought new furniture, exorcised the ghosts. On April 9th, I woke up and realized it was exactly 1 year since D-Day, since I'd watched that 14-minute video in an office bathroom and decided to stop being invisible. I didn't mark the anniversary, didn't need to, but I noticed. April 15th, I met Sarah, the teacher from the grocery store, for coffee. We talked about books, about our kids, about life after divorce. She didn't ask invasive questions, didn't push, just talked. Like I was a person worth knowing. Walking her to her car afterward, I said, "I'd like to do this again." She smiled. "Me too." I drove home with the windows down, music playing, feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Hope. June 2025. The divorce finalized. 7 months total. I got the house, primary custody. Amanda paid $400 a month in child support. Our financial accounts were divided. I kept my retirement fund. She got half the equity in the house we'd built, though it wasn't much after legal fees. Amanda was assistant manager at Target by then. Small apartment, regular visitation. Her relationship with the kids was improving slowly. Emma was softening. Lucas had always been forgiving. Her parents had reconciled with her. Limited contact, Sunday dinners only, but it was something. Eleanor told me once, "We're praying for her, and for you, for all of you." Tyler and Jessica were both gone from Thornfield. Tyler moved to Indiana, last I heard, working at some gym, Instagram deleted. Jessica remarried, met a physician at the hospital, stable guy, good to her. I was happy for her. And me? I was dating Sarah seriously by summer. The kids had met her. Emma's assessment, she's nice, she doesn't try too hard. High praise from a 10-year-old. Lucas drew a picture in July. Me, Emma, Lucas, and Sarah at the park. I put it on the fridge, didn't overthink it, just let it be what it was. I recorded this whole thing, well, not recorded, but wrote it down, because people keep asking me if I regret how I did it. The public exposure, the anniversary dinner, the video. Honestly, some days I do. I think about Amanda in that hospital, about Emma hearing things at school, about whether there was a less nuclear option. But then I remember, I didn't cheat, I didn't lie, I didn't disrespect our family. I just made sure everyone saw what I saw. For 12 years, I was invisible. I let people walk over me because I thought that's what good people did. Turns out, there's a difference between being nice and being a doormat. I'm teaching my kids that now. Set boundaries, demand respect, know your worth. Amanda and Tyler aren't villains in some revenge story. They're just people who made selfish choices and faced consequences. Real consequences, not movie consequences, real life. Job loss, social exile, broken families, the messy aftermath that comes when you blow up your life and everyone around you. And me, I'm just a guy who decided he deserved better. The Ring cameras are still up, by the way, but these days, there's nothing to hide. Emma asked me last week, "Daddy, do you think you'll ever get married again?" I thought about it. Maybe, someday, if I find someone who sees me. What do you mean? Someone who sees me for who I am, not who they want me to be, not someone they can ignore or take for granted, someone who makes me feel visible. She thought about that. Then she said, "I think Sarah sees you." Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. Either way, I'm not invisible anymore. Not to my kids, not to myself, not to anyone who matters. And that's enough.